It is a massive leap.
Yeah.
It sounds like the more we understand human morality, the harder the AI challenge actually looks.
In many ways, yes. And it brings us to the core challenge that really remains after addressing all these points. Traditionally, morality was seen as an exclusively human domain, right? The rise of autonomous AI fundamentally challenges this boundary, forcing us to confront questions about AI's potential moral status, its responsibility, and how we should interact with it ethically. Asimov's famous laws were an early attempt at building safety. But an AMA, as conceived in this context, needs genuine moral judgment and actions that are fundamentally moral in a much deeper sense.
And those systems, as we discussed, are still vulnerable to inheriting flaws and biases from the very data they learn from. It's a persistent problem.
So the paper by Professor Park really underscores that before focusing purely on the technical programming, we absolutely must prioritize a deep philosophical and neuroscientific understanding of what morality is in the first place.
Exactly. This means grappling with those fundamental tensions. Reason versus emotion. Universality versus particularity. Relationality versus independence. Intuition versus reasoning. Getting clearer on those for ourselves.
And the biggest, most fundamental question left hanging at the end of all this?
It's really deciding what kind of morality we should even attempt to implement in AI. Should we strive to create AI with diverse moral personalities, as messy and inconsistent as human morality often is? Or should we try to program AI to embody some ideal, moral human image or an abstract ethical framework, potentially creating something that is ethically superior, but perhaps fundamentally alien or even unacceptable to us?
Wow. So it's not just a question of can we build moral AI, but should we? And maybe most importantly, who gets to define the ethical code we build into these potentially powerful autonomous machines?
Exactly that. And succeeding in implementing any form of meaningful AI morality requires a far deeper understanding of the critical role emotions play in human reasoning and decision-making, especially emotional intelligence, the capacity to perceive, understand, and respond appropriately to the emotional states of others.
So ideally, moral robots wouldn't just have abstract goals programmed in.
Ideally, truly moral robots wouldn't just have abstract goals like maximize human happiness programmed in. They might need something akin to their own internal states, their own will, intuition, insight, and the practical skills to navigate complex social worlds. That's the far horizon, perhaps.
So while the debate about whether strong AI that fully replicates human intelligence is even possible continues, the challenge of creating anything approaching an artificial moral agent, a robot with a genuinely moral core, is very much here now, and it demands this profound collaboration between computer engineers, ethicists, psychologists, and neuroscientists.
It really forces us to look inward and clarify our own understanding of what it truly means to be a moral being before we try to build another one.
So we've really taken a deep dive into this absolutely crucial and frankly mind-bending topic today, guided by the insightful work of Professor Hyoungbin Park.
And what's become abundantly clear is that building genuinely moral AI is not just a daunting technical hurdle. It requires us to confront the very essence of human morality itself, its incredible complexity, the indispensable interplay of reason and emotion, the profound role of experience in relationships, and those fundamental differences between the messy, dynamic way human brains compute and the structured, binary way machines operate.
Yeah, the journey has taken us through millennia of philosophical thought, decades of psychological research, and critically, into the cutting edge of neuroscience, which provides us with a physical understanding, however incomplete, of our moral compass and how different parts of our brain get involved in navigating ethical dilemmas.
And we've tried to pull back the curtain on some of the myths surrounding AI morality, contrasting them with the current realities and highlighting the profound, often unanswered challenges in creating truly autonomous moral machines, especially when it comes to replicating nuanced human traits like emotional sensitivity or overcoming those inherent biases absorbed from training data.
Ultimately, as Professor Park's work brings so sharply into focus, the most fundamental question isn't just, can we build moral AI, but what kind of morality should we even be aiming for? Should we attempt to mirror the imperfect, diverse, and sometimes contradictory reality of human morality, or should we strive to instill some form of idealized ethical framework into these machines?
It really leaves you pondering, doesn't it? If and when we manage to build machines with something resembling moral personalities, what will that reflection ultimately show us about ourselves?